Hey, how y'all doing, Cowboys Nation? This is B Bird Cowboy coming back at you solo. First time in a long time I've done this. Um, Part of it is I'm trying out new equipment. I have a MacBook. I joined that. I've had Chromebooks and things like that and laptops, but I needed to upgrade. So, I've seen my kids have the MacBook, so I ended up trying one of those out. So, I'm trying to give it a whirl, trying to see how it works. I'm actually working off its camera right now, so we'll just see how it goes. But I just kind of wanted to jump on, man, just kind of communicate with y'all a little bit, just about some observations I've seen. Some things I've looked at as far as the playoffs and everything else. And so the first observation, could you hold for a second? Sorry about that. So the first observation, just one of the things I noticed, they talked about New England Patriots today. And the one thing I did notice is that they said that they spent over $350 million in free agency. And so I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. And so it kind of brought me to mind about, okay, so what are we doing, right? And, we don't really spend in free agency. And so I was just kind of, trying to juxtapose them against us. So what they did is they did get they got a new head coach, Mike Vrabel. He was great, but he was fired from the Titans. So they got a new head coach in Mike Vrabel, but they didn't just rest on that. They said, okay, we got a new head coach, but we got to update this roster. So they went got. I just looked at it. They went got Milton Williams, which I can't remember who the content creator was, but he said this in the offseason. Whoever it is, if y'all see this, contact me. I'll give you credit. Somebody said, "Why are we going after Osa when Milton Williams is out there?" And he played well for the Eagles in limited snaps. He didn't even play that much, but he was as effective as some of the as Carter and those other guys there. And man, I saw him play today, and I was like, wow, this guy's a player. And Osa is a good player, but he's not the difference maker like Milton Williams was today. I was like, they did a good job of getting Milton Williams in free agency. So they got Milton Williams, they got Stephon Diggs, they got Kayvon Chason, got Morgan Moses, they got Tonga, they got Robert Spillane, and they got Carlton Davis. Man, that's a lot of guys to get in one offseason, man. And that with new coaching, and then they had a great draft. I mean, that's how you attack all three phases of, not all three phases of player acquisitions, but they attacked every phase of player acquisition. They left no stone unturned. And then they got a coach that they believed in. And now they're in the AFC Championship game again. I was in there talking to my wife about it earlier, and I was telling her, I said, you remember when New England was dominating with Tom Brady? I said, yeah. And I said, then he left, and then, eventually Belichick left, and they went downhill. But now, because, they're just hell-bent on winning, they are back in the AFC Championship game, and with a possibility of being in the Super Bowl with Denver's quarterback being out. So it's just a testament to an aggressive front office, a smart front office, a front office that's trying to win instead of a front office that, like that really wants to be middling. So I just kind of noticed that. And we can get back to that, but I did want to point out too, man, I did this thing and I've been staying on this. If you're a dome team, you better get the number one seed overall. Because if not, in the AFC, you're going to be playing in Buffalo. You're going to be playing in Baltimore. You're going to be playing in Pittsburgh. You're going to be playing in New England. You're going to be playing in Kansas City. You're going to be playing in some places in January, late January, that's going to be like what the Houston Texans face today. Dome teams aren't made. They usually what you do with a dome team, you make them like they're a dome team. They like the greatest show on turf. And Houston isn't necessarily built like that. So they actually did better than what, really think about it. If they had any kind of offense, they probably win that game because their defense played outstanding, but they just couldn't get over the elements, man. And the elements I'm watching this game today, is favoring Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So this is how it's going to be, man. It's going to be snowy. It's going to be, cold. It's going to be windy. And, you're going to have to, you got to get outside of yourself to win some of these games. What I've noticed too is that in these playoffs is that, man, these defenses are playing outstanding. I mean, Houston didn't win today, but man, their defense stood up. I mean, it was, I think, 3 times the offense gave up the ball on turnovers and Houston stopped them from scoring. They had to punt. That's crazy good defense, man. And they just couldn't get anything going on offense because it just wasn't used to the inclement weather down there. So I think defenses travel. And even look at the Houston loss, their defense travel. Defense and run game travel. And so they just, their offense just didn't do it. But I've seen a lot of great defenses play in this postseason. And that's something that we're just not used to in Dallas. And until we stop trying to, win the games pretty, stop trying to be entertainers and start trying to get the W's and L's. One of the things, you think about New England defense played outstanding today too. Neither quarterback played well. And their defense has kind of pulled them out with some turnovers and some stops and things of that nature. And I was just thinking about, when would Dak be able to turn the ball over 3 times in the first half and still be in the game? That never happens for the Cowboys. We've never, and I've said in the 30 years, or even let's go to the years that Dak Prescott's been here. We have not had a defense that was, as stern as the ones even New England had today, or Houston had today. And I'm watching Chicago play good defense right now. And so defense, defensive linemen, they don't sell jerseys. Defense don't sell the jerseys of a Pickens, of a CeeDee Lamb, of a Dak. But man, they win you football games. And so we have got to get back to just getting players on defense, man. We did good with our defensive tackles, but all just looking at our players, because what's going to happen, y'all, we're going to hire a defense coordinator. But if we don't give him the players, I'm going to say this too. Eberflus it was time for him to go. But when you trade Micah Parsons at the start of the year, a week before the season starts, you've really taken away your pass rush and you damage your secondary. And so, you have to have players on the team to win. And we can blame it on, what I'm trying to say, y'all, is this. We can blame everything on Eberflus and make him a scapegoat and then just send him on out of town like they used to do back in the other days. All our problems are gone because the GOAT's gone. No, man. We got to look at this from what Micah Parsons being gone, Eberflus being here, what it did, it put a spotlight on what we don't have personnel-wise. We got to get better secondary play. We need to replace both our safeties. Bland's going to be here because he signed a contract, but we got to worry about his foot. This is the second time he's had foot surgery. Who do we have as the rookie? I can't remember his name right now. But we can't rely on him. We can't say that we got him and Bland. Nah, man. We got to go to free agency and get some kind of. We got to get a cornerback, an established cornerback, and we may have to pay some money for him, but we got to get that. My philosophy has been draft one, sign one, or draft one, trade for one. We can get a rookie safety and trade for a starter. You know what I'm saying? Minkah Fitzpatrick. I would love to have somebody like that on our team. Draft a corner, sign a corner. Draft a linebacker, sign a linebacker. I think we need a defensive end. I think we need a defensive end that actually has. I'm thinking. Y'all know I've been talking Max Crosby for a while, but it may take a lot to get him. So I am Hendrickson. Hey, if he's healthy, he was hurt all last year. If he's healthy, and we can sign him, hey, let's do it, because we can't wait for a developing defensive end. We don't know how a defensive end is going to develop. Izaraku was a 16 sack dude in college, but he came in the pros. He got 2, and he's going to come around. What I'm trying to say is, and y'all have heard me say this before, our window is Dak Prescott. So we got 2 or 3 years with Dak. Let's stack this team, and let's get this team all back on board for 2 or 3 years. Then after that, people say, yeah, but we don't want to be in cap hell. The Rams, I'm watching the Rams right now, competing to go to the NFC Championship game again. After everybody said they was going to be in cap hell. After Stephen Jones was like, well, you can't do it like the Rams. They spend money to go get the players that they want. That's what they do. Now, Stephen, you can play around and when you want to go when you want to go get a coach and you got the top 5 here, you just wait till everybody pick them and you just get the leftovers. You can do that. But that's not what these teams are doing. They're identifying the New York Giants. They wasn't going to wait for Harbaugh to go talk to 3 other people and contemplate and wait on see and who's going to lose. And they didn't do all that. They saw a guy that they wanted and they got him. That's what you do. You go get him, you corner him, and you go get him, and that's what you do. And so, that's what teams are doing now. We need to identify what defensive coordinator that we want and go get him. What are we waiting on? Now, speaking of defensive coordinator, why have we not the most impressive defensive coordinator I've seen this year that we played against, that I was kind of in awe of, was Flores. Why have we not reached out to him yet? Somebody has to explain that one to me. Does anybody know? I don't even know if there's anybody on the chat. Let me check it out. I see JB. JB, you're rocking with me, man. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, brother. I'm just doing a little quick one here, man. Just trying to see how everything looks. I appreciate you joining in. Yeah, I see you say, let me see what you got here. You got Quincy Williams. Let's see. Stephen Jones is cheap. Yes, we all know that. Minka, yeah. And then you had Quincy Williams. That'd be Williams' brother, the one that's the linebacker, correct? Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting him because everybody was talking about him. Oh. I got to shout out my favorite supporter, which is my wife. Thank you, baby. Okay. I don't even know where I was. But anyway, we were talking about we need to identify the best players for the job. One of the things we talked about the other day too is that what we have an issue with in getting the best player or best coaches, I'm sorry, is that we talked about this on the OG podcast, is ego that's getting in our way, right? And cheapness getting in our way. So I did go look at Vrabel's salary, and Vrabel's making 16 to 19 million dollars a year, somewhere in that area. And what I tell people, and this is what I want people to understand, and I just don't know why we don't. I think what Jerry's done, he's normalized a lot of this stuff, so people don't even talk about it. The media doesn't talk about it, or fans don't even talk about it. They take it as a given and keep it going. Somebody should be asking them questions as this. The question I was posing, hey Jerry, man, great, you made the list of, you are the most valuable sports franchise in the world. That's including soccer, that's including NBA, NFL, MLB, hockey, everything. Like all these franchises, you are the most valuable franchise in the world. Congratulations to that. Now, the question I pose to you, Jerry, is this. You have the most valuable franchise in the world, but you have the lowest paid coach in the NFL. Could you kind of get me to understand why the last two coaches have been $4.5 million and, $4.5 million coaches when you got teams out there paying coaches $20 million? What makes you think that that coach is good enough? Don't you think it's value in like getting the best coach for the best franchise? That's the question I would run to him and see what he would say on that. Because to me, what Jerry does as with the head coach, coordinator. So if he's an offensive coordinator, head coach, then he really is an offensive coordinator. Because think about it. So if anybody would argue with me, I would say they'll be like, well, no, Shotty's the head coach. Shotty's the offensive coordinator. And if anybody if you could take this with you. You know how I know he's the offensive coordinator? Because that's what he's paid like. He's paid like an offensive coordinator. He's not paid like a head coach. Jerry does not respect coaches. B-Bird, yes, he does. He does respect coaches. Let me tell you how you know he don't respect. Give you an example. The least respected position in football is the running back. Everybody knows it, but how can you prove it? Because it's the lowest paid position in football. The pay is the respect. So Jerry pays the coach, his head coach, the least in football. That's the respect. He does not respect coaches. He thinks if he gets an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, remember what Fish said the other day, this culture is Jerry Jones, y'all. That's what it is. So this culture is Jerry Jones. He got a guy in place. He refuses to hire a top-notch head coach. He wants his head coach coming in desperate and begging. That means, hey, I'll do anything for you. Whatever you need me to do. I'll pick up trash. I'll wash socks. I'll do whatever you want me to do. When you come in like that, you're not going to be able to call any shots. You're an offensive coordinator or you're a defensive coordinator. Most likely it's an offensive coordinator. And that's what you're going to be. You're going to take orders from him. And until that thing changes, man, until we get somebody that comes in, like Boss said on the Trojan Horse, come in like, yeah, Jerry, we're going to work good. And then you come in and do your own thing. Until that happens, then nothing's going to change, man. So I was going to go back to my observation. So observation one, New England looked great today. What they did, they spent $350 million on contracts. They hired they identified a coach and hired him. It's like New York Giants identified Harbaugh and hired him. They drafted well. They took a dip and they're back. So they were already above us, took a dip below us, now they're back. Why? Because they're aggressive. They're using their finance, they're using their resources to acquire people. They didn't just sell on, hey, we got a better coach, so everything up. No, let's evaluate everything. We need better players, right? That's what they did. Hats off to them, man. You can look at Vrabel. Okay, so let's look at this. So who were the hottest coaching candidates in the offseason? Who was the hottest coaching candidates in the offseason, this last offseason? Ben Johnson and Vrabel, right? Who was the two top paid in the offseason? The top paid new coaches. Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel, right? So, hey, Ben Johnson is making $19 million a year. Vrabel is making, so let's just say $18 million a year. They paid a lot for those coaches, man. One of them is in the AFC Championship game. The team went 3-14 last year. It went 14-3 this year. The other one is fighting right now to go to the NFC Championship game. You get what you pay for, y'all. You get what you pay for. They're paying for it, so they get it. Well, if man, you know what? I wonder if we can afford to get a coach like. Nobody ever asked that question. Nobody ever asked if you work $12 billion, you work not $4 million more than the next one. Nobody ever asked that question like, why are you penny pinching on coaches? Go get the best. I made an analogy the other day. The Dodgers went out and signed a player, and I can't think of his name right now. Let me go find it. Kyle Tucker, that's his name. Sorry. The Dodgers just came off two back-to-back World Series. They had every right to rest on their laurels and say, hey, man, we're going to watch this salary now. We already got two. We got two World Series back-to-back. Guess what? If we just bring back what we had last year, we can probably compete and we may win. No, they went and got Kyle Tucker. Those guys are aggressive. They are aggressive. They're trying to win again, man. They're not letting nobody catch up with them. They still hunting. They want to win all they can within this. They want to win 5 or 6 in a row, man. These guys are, hey, look at what the Dodgers with their name is iconic, just like the Cowboys, the Yankees. Go look at their salaries, their payrolls. They're trying to win. You can go look at these Sacramento Kings. They're never going to win anything. You go look at these teams in baseball, they're not going to win anything. They might pop up every now and then, but these Yankees, these Dodgers, these people with the resources that can make things happen, they're making things happen, man. Whenever one of these small Florida teams or Kansas City baseball teams get a good player, these big teams go get them away from them because they're trying to win, man. The Cowboys got to get in that mode. They got to win. And that's why until they start doing that, until they start getting another free agent, the last free agent, I know y'all have heard me say this before, I'm going to keep saying it until it changes. The last top 20 free agents they signed in free agency was Brandon Carr in 2012, man. Y'all know that was 13, that's now going on 14 years ago. But we don't ask questions about that. The media don't ask questions about that. The question should be, Jerry, you haven't signed a top 20 free agent since 2012 with Brandon Carr. Could you let us know what your thought process is on that? Because you're the only team in the NFL that have not signed one. And if he goes to say about, well, you know, we signed Brandon, we didn't get much out of him, we didn't get what, dude, you shouldn't, a general manager that has PTSD from a 2012 signing should not be in place anymore. We got to start asking these questions. We've normalized Jerry's treatment. Y'all give me a moment. Let me check my. I got my daughter in college watching. Hey, Cinco. How you doing? You know I'm struggling with this MacBook. Thank you for your help today, though. You and Patrick. Let me see why. Y'all know I don't do too many lives, so it takes me a while. And I'm part of the OG podcast, so the O in the OG is really here too. So, but anyway, I don't remember where I was. But the defensive coordinator is going to be, and I was saying on the OG podcast, it's going to be one of our biggest hires, man, in a while, because we got a two or 3 year window. No matter how you feel about Dak Prescott, he is a top 10 quarterback. When you have a top 10 quarterback here, you have to do everything you can around it. So we can't be going with this cookie cutter, these modes that we're trying. We got to go and get the best defensive coordinator out there. We can't get with the one that that makes us feel good or make the Cowboys comfortable. And I think I'm going to try to find Mike Fisher's comment to read it to y'all if I can, because it was actually pretty good. He was talking about why Flores wouldn't hadn't had an interview and why he may not have an interview. Let me see if I can find it here. I think I reposted it, so it should be in here. No, maybe I didn't. I should have. Y'all give me a minute. Let me see. I bet you I can't find it. Let me see if his name's on the. Oh, here it is right there. Hold on. Fisher. Fish Sports. Okay. And Fish posts a lot of stuff, so let's see if I can find it though. But it's actually our situation in a nutshell, to be honest with you, because he talked about the culture and some other things. And let me see if I can find it. Like I said, Fish does post a lot of stuff. God dog. Yeah, I might not be able to find it. Hey, one day I'm gonna know how to just jump to this stuff like some other guys do. I have to get on here more often. I need to post more and just get on here, even if it's short. Just get on here and just do some stuff to kind of work out some kinks or whatever. The reason why I went and got this MacBook, I'll tell you the story. Me and my son, and if y'all get back, if y'all have an opportunity to go back, me and Bryce Bird did a show which was kind of a dream of mine, just for me and him to get on and talk Cowboys. We both diehard Cowboy fans, and so he did his. I have this DJI camera, and I was looking at the results of it. I was like, why is he so clear and I'm not? And so, and I said, I got this nice camera and all that. And then I think he told me, and then I think my wife told me, it's probably your computer. That computer you got was only $150. So I ended up with the blessings of my wife and got me a MacBook. Now I'm struggling through that. I have to call my daughter, and I have to call them and ask them how to copy and paste and, all that kind of stuff. So there's going to be a learning curve here. Hopefully y'all go through it with me. Yeah, Fish be posting too much stuff. I can't even find his stuff on there. He had an article, a good little write-up. I may have passed it up though, about the defense coordinator search, and I can't find it. What he said basically was that he thinks that Jerry talks about making players and coaches uncomfortable, having a level of uncomfortability. He said, if you bring Flores in, he said, Flores not going to be like when people do tours of the Star, he's not going to be taking selfies with them and posing for shots and all that. He said he's gruff, he's a football guy. And he said the reason why Jerry might not want to bring him in, because the person that he might make uncomfortable is Jerry Jones, to be totally honest with you, because they said that that dude Flores is all about football, man. So, also too, Flores has the lawsuit, so I don't know what that has to do with it. But if Jerry's kind of worried about that, other teams that have hired him, he's been hired with the Steelers as a defensive coordinator. He was hired with the Vikings as a defensive coordinator. He went on a head coach's interview. And then when some people might say, well, he's interviewing for a head coach. So why would you interview him for a defensive coordinator? Well, Washington interviewed for a defensive coordinator. And so, you don't just assume anything. If he doesn't get it, he needs a job somewhere. So, right. So we should be like, some people are using this terminology about the Cowboys are casting, a big net, and they get attaboys for that. But I would say this, that they're casting a big net, but they're not casting it far out, because the far out, you cast it farther out. That's where the big fish are. They casting the net right there by the banks, by the shore, and you catching all the little fish. You need to expand that thing. They got some big fish out there that they're not even approaching. How about Schwartz? You gotta get out there and go get some of these guys. One of the things I said the other night was, I think the Cowboys have how much in mind they want to play a head coach and they want to pay a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. And so they only interview people that's going to fit into that salary. Like they know they want to pay a head coach $4.5 million. So they're not going to even, why would I interview Vrabel or interview Ben Johnson when they're gonna want more than $4.5 million? I only want to interview people that's going to be within that $4.5 million wage scale. That's what they want to do. And look, you guys look at the people they interview. But what that brings about, y'all, is a desperate coach. The only two coaches that we had here in Dallas in the last 35 years that wasn't desperate was Parcells and Jimmy Johnson. Arguably two of the most impactful coaches in those last 35 years also. And what it is Jerry's figured out that when I get those kind of coaches in here, those kind of coaches that come in with some bravado, those kind of coaches that come in not with deference like Shadi, those alpha that come in like that, he said, man, I have trouble with them because they're going to push back with the way I want to do things. Like this circus I like to have that generate money, they're going to want that circus out of here because that circus doesn't do anything but distract. They're going to want to try to keep everything calm. No, I want a circus. So I need somebody that's going to allow me to have a circus. So that's why $4.5 million, man, that ain't nothing but really, that's just a little bit more than a good offensive coordinator makes in the league, man. I mean, I don't know what the Giants, after Harbaugh, when they get that deal done, he's going to be making $20 million. I mean, his offensive coordinator might be very well make $5 million. He might be higher paid than our head coach. We got to do better than that, y'all. But the thing about it is, and I put something, they got a lot of traction on Twitter. I said that the Joneses are our number one problem. But then I put the fans are our number two problem, a close number two. And the reason why I say that is because I kind of saw it, and it was kind of the thing that kind of put me over was the Michael Parsons situation. When they traded Michael Parsons and I saw Cowboy Nation split over that, I said, y'all know how far we're away from winning. We're split over this. You have one of the best defensive players in the league that want to get paid his money. You have a procedure you go through. General manager talks to the player agent. You superseded that procedure and you talk to the player himself because you're Jerry Jones. Anything after that, right, is I don't care what happens after that, is wrong on Jerry's side. He never should have talked to the player. The thing that I was most disappointed with, he got traded because I could see it going. It was so toxic at the end that it was no way you could sign a contract and come back from that, right? You can't unring a bell. Some things that's done is already done. And some people say, well, he should have, it was so unprofessional of him to lay on the table. Hey man, let me tell you something. Let me show you what the unprofessional part was. When Aiden Hutchinson signed his contract after 7 games, Aiden Hutchinson, the GM of Detroit came to Aiden Hutchinson and said, hey man, look, all you gotta do is go back and prove you was the one from last year. I'm gonna come sign you to a contract. It's quiet. That's all he said. I guess about game 6, he was Aiden Hutchinson from last year. Before game 7, he signed a 4-year, $42 million contract. Quiet, dignified. It wasn't all this slander. It wasn't all this throwing him under the bus. It's dignified, man. So if Jerry would have even took that approach, right, and did it in a dignified manner, then none of this happens. Micah is a passionate player. He's not taking that. That's disrespectful. Everything that Jerry did was disrespectful. So let's go back to the fans. So Jerry does all these things, all these shenanigans, and he only can do that because y'all let him do that. Because when I go look at the comments on Twitter, I see, get that bum out of here, get that. So you're supporting a guy that's behind 30 years of no NFC championship game. This is a player that we need. He messed that up. It's a simple, you got to make him the highest paid player in the league. It's simple. What are we doing? But not the fact that he didn't get it done. He fumbled it and bumbled it, but then we still have the fan base fit 50-50. I'm going to say a word and I'm going to get away from it. Tribalism. At the end of the day, people are going to go who they look like and they feel like. That's what happens. Now, me and Big Time talked about the other day. This going to be a station here. Some of y'all might not want to hear it because I'm not afraid to say anything on here. All I'm going to say is the people that he go after have a certain hue to them. The people that he treats with dignity don't. Y'all can bring it up to me and show me where he drugged somebody else through the mud and had y'all can show me where else where he had the SA victim that accused Dak Prescott. They had the lawyer on the radio. The home of the Dallas Cowboys. Show me somebody else. That's doing negotiations too. That dude played dirty, man. And so we got to change this thing, man. The thing about it is Jerry could not get away with these things if he's in Philadelphia, y'all. New York. They don't play that. The media doesn't play it and the fans don't play it. When they won their Super Bowl, 2 years later, their head coach was fired in Philadelphia because they don't play. But Jerry has normalized who he is to y'all. So y'all don't even push back on it, man. It's time to start pushing back as a fan base on some of this stuff, man. It's time to be asking, hey man, why are all your assets on offense and you have people, first rounders that got cut from Buffalo, and you got these retreads and all this stuff on defense. You're just trying to get a buy on defense, but on offense, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Pickens, you spent the money for your tight end, Ferd. You got three first rounders on offensive line. You got a $60 million quarterback. You got all these things on offense. At the start of the year, you trade your best player on defense. These questions got to be asked. At some point in time, somebody got to ask them the questions. Put him on the spot. Don't let him hard of it. And when you tell you one of these country stories, come back and ask them again. Say, but Jerry, I understand that story you gave me, but you didn't really tell me why all your assets they're not equally distributed. Somebody got to ask those questions. Nobody asking those questions. And that's what the media and the fan base, we got to start demanding more from these Cowboys. We don't demand more from them. A lot of it is because Jerry knows he can get away with it because he knows the fan base. Can I tell you what he's great at? Because he's had 30-something years of it. Media training, dude. That dude is great. Two things he's good at. I'm going to read y'all comments. I see JB put something down there. Two things he's good at. He's good at media training, and Jerry has a personality. I bet if you sat down and had a beer with him, man, you'd have a good time with him. He has a great, I know those guys. He's a personality guy. So, but what we have to do as a fan base, man, we got to hold these guys accountable, man. People got to ask questions. Hey, you got to start putting stuff on social media. They have a social media report that reports back to them on what we're thinking, how we're going about it. Now, I think we do have a window here because Jerry does not, I'm going to tell you, it is a line drawn in the sand between him and Michael Parsons. He wants to do good without Michael Parsons. He has to, because he knows that trade wouldn't have happened. No one else would have made that trade with him. And so, and when he made the trade for Quentin Williams, he had to, y'all. Everybody was tipping their hat to him. You know why he had to? Because Michael Parsons was the defensive player of the month. At the same time, the Cowboys are averaging giving up 38 points a game. He had to do something. Just think if he'd have kept Michael Parsons, had Osa, had Quentin Williams, got him before the season started, and then got Clowney, and then still had Izaraku. You see what I'm saying? That's what a real GM would have did. So it's just, man, we got to hold that guy accountable, man. And so let me look at some of the comments. I see JB B-Boy on here. Yeah, absolutely. That's what half of. And I'm tell you something too, man. That's why I look at clips of 105.3, but I can't really get with them because they don't have a diverse train of thought on there, man. Like you don't have a representation on 105.3 to engage me the whole time because they have a slant on things. You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of stay away from listening to those guys. I will listen to some cuts and some interviews of Jerry and Steven just to see what they're talking about. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something too, JB. This is really I'm gonna read this to you. JVB boy say the media party he throws every single offseason, it's like Vegas. Whatever happens there stays there. Absolutely. Let me tell you about that media party. And it happens I think it's at the end of training camp. I think if you're legit media, you should even go to it. If you want to be legit, you want to stay impartial, you should not go to it. He is, but how you gonna go and if this guy is treating you lavishly, right? And you can go there, you drinking all these expensive drinks, you're eating all this good food, and he just put it on just for the media. But then how you gonna critique him in a proper manner when he's buttering you up like that? You got to stay away from that kind of stuff if you want to be legitimate media, especially in Dallas. You can't go to that. That to me. That knocks some of your credibility going to that thing. And what it would be is, it'll be a thing to where, man, I would love to go there. I know they're going to have fun. But you got to fight that for your credibility. And you got to be the one to say, hey, man, look, no, I know you go to that. I know you go to that party. How's that Jerry party? No, I've never been to one. Why? He does it for the media because I need to be able to cover this team in a factual manner. I don't need my feelings to get involved in this. So I need to stay away from that, man. So I can do, hey, when they're good, I can say they're good, but when they're bad, now I can actually say that they're bad, right? Because I don't have no ties to them. And so yeah, man. So I'm gonna go back to what I was talking about, man. We have to get this defense fixed. And let me tell you, New England was 3-14 last year. They're 14-3 this year. It does not take a long time. It's not a long process, man. Not if you spend the money, not if you get the right free agents, not if you draft right, not if you get the right coaches. I don't know if Shotty is the right coach, y'all. I don't. A lot of people are sold on him. I'm not sold on him because it's one term. Okay, I'll tell you why I wasn't sold on McCarthy. And it was going to be hard for me to be sold on him. Because when he got hired in, he took in Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator. But that's what desperate people do, right? That's what desperate people do. They're gonna take whatever you give them. That's why the Cowboys like their coaches desperate. But I was the first one to call that out. I did that on Sky Walker's show. I said, Sky, man, he might be a puppet. Nah, man, and Sky said, nah, why'd you figure that, B-Bird? I said, because no offensive-minded head coach is going to want to hire an offensive coordinator who's already on staff prior to him and let him call the plays. I said that's not how. That was a condition of his job. And I said, this ain't gonna work good. And with Shotty, the thing that stays with me, the second thing that stayed with me about McCarthy was when he admitted to lying about watching all the game film and all that kind of stuff. And I know it was funny, everybody got a giggle out of it. I said, but that's dishonest. Plus, it tells me that you ain't been a student of the game that you said you were. So those two things. Now, he had good years though, man. He 12-5, not knocking it. But I just didn't like that, man. The thing I don't like about Shotty is this. The thing that Jerry bragged about him was his deference. I don't know about that's the thing that Jerry liked about him, his deference. That means that when he sees authority, he defers to it. Well, who's his authority, y'all? His authority is Jerry. So he's going to defer to Jerry. And that's what Jerry wants. Do you think, okay, Bill Parcells press conference. Yeah, I like Bill. Bill Parcells going to be different too. Bill going to look at them like, is there another Bill Parcells? Because you got the wrong one if that's what you want. Jimmy Johnson, difference? What? No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm running this team. I'm going to be the head of this team. I'm going to be the face of this team. I'm going to be the voice for this team. So I don't know what you thought this was. But when you pay a guy $4.5 million, yeah, he's going to be different to you. Why? Because nobody else wanted him. Name a time name a time we hired a head coach that somebody else wanted. Y'all can put it in the chat. Name a time that we hired a coach that somebody else wanted. Babe. We have not hired a coach that nobody else wanted. We want guys that nobody else wants. Remember what Jerry said recently? He said, I like to get guys that have been knocked down. They've been knocked down for what? Thank you, baby. Why have they been knocked down? So what I'm saying is that I didn't like that word deference because to me, that means that he was kind of passive. We don't need that here. The whole culture is passive. We need somebody, that come in, maybe like Flores, to be totally honest with you, with that demeanor to change this thing. And so I'm not sold on Shotty. Some people are sold on Shotty. Hey, great offense, but you got the players over there to have a great offense. But great offense, keep it up. But people did this. They separated Shotty's offense because he's over offense. And they said, well, Eberflus defense messes up. True. But what is the head coach over, y'all? Is he over just the offense or is he over the offense and the defense because he's the head coach? He's over both of them. So that's Shotty stuff too. And so I don't know who, and then if you remember, who made the defensive hire of Eberflus? Jerry said before, yeah, when he was available, I had to go get him. Jerry don't remember the stuff he says because then he came back in his press conference about the defense at the end of the year press conference. Yeah, we made a collective decision. I never go outside of the group. I always get input on decisions. Yet when Trey Lance was acquired, you said you didn't talk to scouts, the coach, Will McClay. You didn't talk to nobody. You had to get the deal done. No, you didn't. You lied. That's what you said. Now you saying something else, right? That's what the issue is, y'all. But right now, man, going back to Shotty, I'm not sold on Shotty, man. I'm not sold on him yet because I need him to stand up. I need him to be the football guy in this organization. I need a coach that's going to be the football guy in this organization. And he's not that right now. He's letting Jerry do everything, and he's yes sir, whatever you want. As long as my paycheck come in. But your paycheck ain't gonna be here too much longer. Because they're gonna run you out and they're gonna pin everything on you, and they're gonna run you up out of town. That's what they do. Wash, rinse, and repeat. But I'm gonna get back to topic, y'all. So in this offseason, what we got to do is we got to get a new defensive coordinator. We got to get new players. The only thing that's not up for getting new is the defensive tackles. That's the only thing. Offense is good. We got to keep that intact. I wouldn't get a left tackle. If you get a left tackle, we got to put Guyton at right tackle. I mean, we can see that let's still walk. I can understand that. I have no problem with that. But boy, if we get left tackle, you had to get that high in the draft. Boy, I would, with this defense being the way it is, boy, I just can't see how that could be a higher priority than the defense. And so we got so many needs on defense, man. I don't think we can handle this just in the draft. We got to get a fast pressure rusher. If that's Trey Hendrickson, if that's Crosby or somebody like that, we got to get that. We can't wait for a person that developer might not. We might be in that Mozzie situation where we talk about you got to give him 3 years and we ain't got nothing out of the guy in 3 years. So our defensive tackle position is the strength of our team. Hey, if we got to trade Osa to get some stuff back, we got to trade him. We got 2 defensive tackles. Sometimes you can't have 3 good dudes in one position when you got needs everywhere else, man. So I think we got to make this offseason one of the most important offseasons in the last probably about 15 years, to be honest with you. We have the offense to compete, but we got to get the defense. And remember, the things that travel is defense and run game. Because all that stuff that we were doing in the dome, the 72 degrees, dry, no wind blowing dome, that stuff in Chicago, that stuff don't work. In Green Bay, that stuff don't work. You know what I'm saying? In all these outdoor places, that stuff don't work, man. You're going to have to, do something better than that. Let me see what else I had on here. Hey, go for it. Why? Because the Pats and the Rams did, and they went for it, and they're there. They're back. Um, so let me give you the stat. I'm trying to remember this stat. I went back and did some research about 3 or 4 years ago about dome teams, right? So dome teams that won the Super Bowl, they all had home field advantage all the way throughout the playoffs. Because they didn't have to go to too many bad weather places. Now, when dome teams went outside, they didn't do well at all in the last, I think that was probably last 25 years. I think they only won 4 games. Dome teams only won 4. The ones that made the Super Bowl, the dome teams only played 4 away games. Now, check this out. Is one of those when Peyton Manning and the Colts played at Baltimore, and they won 15-9, all field goals. 3 field goals for Baltimore, 5 field goals for the Colts. Now, the thing about that game was played late January, and Baltimore is a notoriously bad weather place. On that day, y'all, I think it was maybe 60 degrees and 5 mile per hour winds. Great day for football. For a dome team. So they won that game. The other game was the Rams playing against Tampa Bay. And so the Rams end up going to Tampa Bay, but y'all know Tampa Bay is like a 70-degree place. And that's what it was, good weather. And they won the game. One of the ones was when the Rams beat New Orleans. That was a dome game. And there was another dome game. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was when Atlanta beat, a long time ago, when Atlanta beat Minnesota. I think that may have been it. But that's the only time in their route to the Super Bowl a dome team ever won outside out of 20 games, man. So if you're going to be a dome team, you need to get home field advantage, because going outside, it's not good, man, especially in the weather. So let me read and see what y'all saying in the chat. Jonathan, so JB, you say Jonathan Mingo too. What do you mean by that, man? Because we made 2 trades, our last 2 trades with Milton and Mingo, man. We just kind of throwing away draft picks on that, because Mingo ain't done nothing since he been here. And I like Mingo coming out too. So I thought I wasn't actually against the I wasn't necessarily actually against the trade. I actually like the trade. See if I did that right. Yeah, so show comments and stuff. Okay. But yeah, we made some kind of bad trades lately, like the little smaller trades or whatever. They hadn't been, real impactful. But the big ones. Oh, speaking of trade, y'all, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna be long. And I said this last season, but if you look at the trend, whenever we've gotten impactful players, we've been getting them lately through the draft, right? Through trade. We got Gilmore through trade. Let's go all the way back to Amari Cooper. We got Amari Cooper through trade. We got Gilmore and Cooks through trade. We got Pickens through trade. We got Quentin Williams and Clark through trades. Look at all those guys, those impactful players, high-level players that we got through trade. Name one player in free agency that we got that equals those guys. So if you look at it, y'all, we're probably going to trade for a player. The reason why the Joneses like to trade for a player, this is my speculation, is that they don't have to worry about battling or outbidding somebody for the contract. They don't want to get in bidding wars for contracts. When you trade, the contract's already in place. That's what they like about trades. So they don't mind giving up a 5th round, a 3rd round, a 4th round for a contract already in place. To be honest with you, y'all, I don't mind either, because I think we need players that's already proven it on this level versus going all in on the draft. So, I mean, we don't know what we're going to get to number 20. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what we're going to get with 12. So I don't mind them trading, man. And to me, that's a good way to do it. I mean, look at what New England did. All those guys I named about 9 players they got in off-season acquisitions. that's playing deep. The guys I named are just the guys that's starting. So those guys are they went from 3-14 2 years in a row to 14-3, man. These guys are in the AFC Championship game, and with Denver's quarterback being hurt, they could very well be in the Super Bowl and win again, man. That's how quick it can happen if your front office is aggressive, man. Hey, yeah, that Elam trade was that. Did we trade for Elam? Is that the one that we got, JV? Is that the one we got from? Remember the first rounder from Buffalo that we picked up? Is that him? Because I don't know if I'm gonna see if that was that Elam. I can't remember. Elam, make sure. Yeah, that's the guy I got from Buffalo. Now, here's the deal. Wait a minute, was it? Yeah. I think that is the guy we got from Buffalo. And I think he's a first-round pick. And the Cowboys love going to get former first-round pick. But if a team gives up on, I think that kid was drafted in, was he drafted in 2024? I think he was drafted in 2024. Let me look. Let me see. Drafted in 2022. So they gave up on him in 2 years. So if Buffalo gave a real football organization, gave up on him in 2 years, what makes you think that you're going to be able to reclaim him? And then we had guys that was coming off the street that's coming in and starting in 2 weeks at cornerback. I mean, we got to do better about that on defense, man. That's all it is to it. So back to what the first parts were. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going back over this, but I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 starters that were gained through free agency for New England. You know, that's what you have to do, man. You just cannot just, hey, we're gonna wait till the draft fall to us. We're gonna wait till free agency fall to us. You're gonna get what falls to you, and that's just what it is. But anyway, man, I'm gonna get off of here, y'all. I appreciate, hey JV, I definitely appreciate you, man. You know, me and you, I rock with you, brother. Every time I see you on there, I always give you a what's up on any chat I'm on, man. So I appreciate you rocking with me tonight, man. Because hey, whenever this thing take off, I'm always gonna look back at you, and I want to appreciate my wife for tuning in, and my daughter at PV. Oh, I was gonna say PV, you know, but I guess I can't say it unless I get the other person to say you know. But anyway, at Prairie View A&M, my son's up there also. So shout out to PBA University. So I just want to thank everybody, and there's gonna be some people that come back and watch this thing later on. Just want to tell y'all I appreciate everybody doing this. This is my passion, talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm gonna be posting more. Just getting on here talking, man. And this is my theory, y'all. Just be honest with you. If I get 1 person or 0 people, I'm still gonna be on here talking, man. This is a passion. It's not about gaining financial gains or anything like that. God's been good to me. So I'm just on here doing something I should have done a long time ago, to be totally honest with you. And I just want to just thank my family for pushing me to this, encouraging me. My sister always listens to all the OG podcasts, and my wife listens. I'll be on the couch and I'll hear her listen to something. I think she's listening to one of her shows, and it'd be the OG podcast, man. So I just want to tell my wife I love you for that. Appreciate you, and appreciate Madison, my daughter, Bryce for getting on, and all my other kids that drop in and listen from time to time, and give it a like, share, and subscribe, y'all. But anyway, man, it's been great. JV, I appreciate you again, man. I'm gonna come back on again and keep your alarm set or notification bell set so we can come back on. And JV, one day, man, I'm gonna get you on here on camera, man. So you can have a show too, if that's something that you would mind doing. So I just want to tell everybody in Cowboy land, hey, this is a big off season. We gotta get a good defense coordinator, but we gotta get that defense coordinator players. We get this defensive side of the ball fixed, man. Now we're gonna be cooking with gas. So until next time, y'all, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And the people that's come in later on and catch it on the rewind, give me a like, share, and subscribe. And hey, y'all take it easy. Cowboys out.